Okay, so today is an exciting episode where I could potentially get my first and only zombie hero, or a new one at least on top of the starting ones, and so I kind of hate this card actually. I don't like these expensive ones that are meant for late game purposes that, you know, most of these games end so quickly anyway. So if I do this one, you know, like the pace is, oh, I have 2 Dark Matter Dragon Fruits, but then I don't even get to play them. Either I'll win or lose before it ever happens, or you know, Bad Moon Rising, you know, I haven't really gotten to play it very effectively. I did play it at least once, but it was a very shitty outcome. Like, I just did it on one thing just for the sake of it and then probably lost. So I was just doing it for the heck of it, just so I could say I played it. But back to school bundle, and that's actually pretty appropriate for this game because the average player is probably a fucking school kid, with all due respect. Like, I'm fine with it. I am. This is one of my weird type of things that is very validated for me. You might say, oh, I'm playing this game to exploit it for content because it does so well on YouTube, which it has done really well compared to pretty much anything else I've done on this channel. But at least on a consistent basis, because again, the fan base is so starved for content or whatever, so I'm being objective and not even taking credit. I'm not saying that, oh, it's because I'm so good or I'm so interesting or whatever, because all my other stuff, I think I'm good and interesting too. Even some of it's objectively far more impressive, like a world first clear of a hard mode or something. But the point is, instead of just playing a random fucking card game, but the point is, at least I do have some interesting formats to it, like the no crafting. I haven't crafted a single card since I did started the playthrough, and it's a free-to-play playthrough, and it's the first playthrough, and it's a what else? Like, it's a permadeath per episode playthrough, where if I lose as a hero, I can't play as that hero anymore for the rest of the week and for the rest of the episode. And then it's also, speaking of getting the Yeti zombie hero, it's also where I have to have a legendary of each type in order to get a hero. So if I'm going to buy this one, and the reason why I can do that is because I have like the cowboy and the nurse or something that would allow me, those are like the only legendaries I have as a zombie, so therefore I can unlock the hero basically because of that. Otherwise I can't just make any hero that I want unless I get it from a pack, right? That would be the rule set. So we very likely will get the Yeti today, or we'll be super close to it. And so the only other thing what we want to do before the end game phase of this playthrough is I'll wait till the next season starts, which I'm not sure when that is. It could be next episode, or it could be the episode after that. And so then we'll be in the final phase where I'll say that month I have to get to rank 50, right, for the first time, and it's my first time really going to be trying. So I'll have to make more episodes throughout the week. And so the one condition I'll lift there is I'll say, now the permadeath once per episode thing is off, and I can do whatever I want. I can play it as the same one even if I lose, but I might still rotate through them. So if I play as Green Shadow and lose, then I'll play as every other one and lose with them until I play as him again. I might do it like that, but I won't enforce that, because, and then I'll also be doing more than one episode a week. I'll have to, because I'm more so worried about the time. That shows you what a filthy casual I am, that I'm actually sweating and worried about not having enough time to get to rank 50 in a fucking casual card game, right? So again, all we're trying to do is we're going to farm up to 750 gems. We're going to get the Yeti between this episode and next episode, I guess. And then we'll be on the rank 50 grind. I forget when the season resets. I feel like it's always towards the middle of the month, maybe around the 14th or the 15th, which I think is dumb and kind of triggers me because it should be around the 1st of the month, but I know it's not that. So we'll go ahead. We go with Captain Combustible. You know, I've been giving him the honors ever since I got him, and I definitely don't regret it. In fact, he's been one of the most impressive ones performance-wise of any hero in the game. And the reason why is because, you know, you're in a position where the aggro style and the hard commit to it is very, very good, right? You're not going to regret that, even though I'm maybe foolishly not taking a 2 cost, but you're not going to be guaranteed to get one. But then again, this deck is pretty low curve. And so what you have is the ability to realize that I'm sort of playing that style anyway, even if I'm not playing as combustible, just because you kind of have to keep up with the pace of, you know, I'm not going to win in the long term anyway, like I always say, because my collection is just not good enough. What a lucky top deck, even though, you know, again, a lot of these cards are going to be low cost anyway. I actually love this card. It looks so cool. The animations are sick. The effects are pretty good. But you wouldn't expect that it stays around as long as what it does. Like, you should easily be able to kill that or trade into it, but for some stupid reason, he's not doing it. So I'm sort of doubting the one thing I won't be able to craft still, and it'll still be free to play though. So what I'm saying is I kind of have to go with where my collection is at. And if I fail to get to rank 50 in that 1 month and 1 month only that I get, right, it'll be a one-time thing. I effectively have to delete my account. And so, again, even if I succeed, I might not play the game again for a long time, but at least I have the option to, and I could do some fun little other series with it. But this has been a very cool format nonetheless for... I almost want to, you know, since I like this guy so much, I could do that, or I could just kill this stupid thing. Let me, you know, we'll just do that and save the other stupid berry thing. You know, like the card selection in this game is so limited because it's like, oh, this is such a common removal card, but it might be the only thing for 2 costs that plants have within, you know, this class. Like, there won't be more than one of each type of thing, so whether you like it or not, you have no choice but to use it, right? Like, oh, that chicken AoE that does 2 damage to everything, it's like, well, it's not the greatest AoE you can think of, but it's the greatest one you're gonna have because it might be the only one that you have. Like this one, this might be the best AoE I have in my whole collection because, you know, whatever, or at least with this type of deck. And it's not even that I really want AoE either. That'll kill that, and you'll still hit him with this. So that his big mistake is letting this thing stick around for this long. That wasn't even a very efficient play, to be honest with you, but whenever you play a plant, that also rewards you for playing weenies and a lot of little things together. But no, I don't know that there was ever really esports for this game, but it was more just, there's like this tournament that people do for money, like once a year or something. That's kind of a big deal, and Fry hosted or whatever. I would just think people would get incredibly bored of this game because people do that even with much more, even with card games that have way more cards in them. People still get bored and say, oh, the meta's stale, blah blah blah. But imagine a game that's stuck in the same state for a very long period of time. I'm surprised and almost impressed that people are still enjoying it so much. Or, you know, again, it's a different kind of casual community that isn't necessarily playing the game that much. So, what was I going to say? Just, I don't know. Like, people are modding it and stuff, so that's one thing I haven't done. The one thing I would almost want to do with it, because I'm such a fan of gimmicks and stuff, right, maybe sometime later, would be like a gimmick series where I make certain gimmick decks where, again, I have like 4 copies of every card in the game that have a certain effect. So like every untrickable card in the game times 4 together in one deck to see if you can make a deck full of only that and try to, you know, do it with that mechanic. And the reason why that's so good, actually, speaking of zombies, I was watching this stupid dubbed over movie. It's like a Chinese movie or something, for whatever reason, just on Netflix. I joined Netflix again for the first time in a long time, and it's called like #Alive, and it's just like this guy hiding out in his apartment during the zombie apocalypse. And I don't know why I was even watching it, but you know, it's just very sort of stale and bland, and the dubbing over is pretty hilarious. I guess I didn't know it was in Chinese at first. Right, oh, for fuck's sake. I mean, at least you technically do have 2 costs, but this is always a very good piece of removal here. But no, this is almost like the beggars can't be choosers card game. Not with respect to the game itself. I mean, like, with how the cards work. Like, honestly, dude, when else am I going to use it? What else am I going to do, bro? That 3 damage could be the difference in him dying because, yeah, again, I'm never going to win on the board. I'm never going to beat you any other way, so fuck it. Otherwise, I'm just wasting my turn doing nothing, which is antithetical to an aggro playstyle. You never want to do that, right? You don't play for optimal value. You play for optimal damage, and it doesn't even have to be optimal. It just has to be existent. Yeah, it's sort of a melancholy effect, but it's only fitting we should have to do that as a finale. Right, it's a pretty epic thing. We have to get to rank 50 for the first time, which might not seem like a big deal. Like, oh, people get to rank 50 every month. But probably not with this collection, and probably not under all these other circumstances and conditions. But even then, it's like, what a combo there. You know, it is going to be pretty interesting. And either way, we'll sort of put the final exclamation point on the series, because either we'll celebrate getting to rank 50 and then it's just a bonus series if I want to do an episode here and there. And I also will say if I fail, then I have to delete my account, or I don't even know how to delete your account, but you might have to I could just disenchant all my cards, and since I can't craft anyway, then that's basically like I basically lost my whole collection. Okay, this shows you he at least has a good deck, because that card is fucking annoying. You could do that to just simply kill it. All zombies in your hand get +1/+1. Yeah, you can't try to play for a long game sort of thing. That, oh, I want to win on the board, I want to deal with what he has, or look how big his hand is. Like, I don't really care, right? The only value that matters is not your hand value, not your minion value, not anything, right? Just your health value is the only thing that matters here. And not even your health value, their health value. I could finish it off with the stupid berry thing if I feel like it. You hit me with that, which is only charging on my block meter, which only speeds up your demise, because you're obviously going to, you know, I want to trigger the block meters. I want to benefit from that. Do you go like this? Wait. Actually, now that I think about it, maybe I should do this, and then it would be sort of a mistake to let that trade in, but also he might do something to save this, but it might not matter, because he's going to take such a massive he's going to take such a massive amount of damage, but now that thing might stick around for the rest of the game. And now if he has stuff that he's going to heal, if he has stuff that's going to heal him, then I get fucked over for sure, right? Because that I can't really deal with. Some of my many weaknesses in card games. If you have any kind of healing, if you have any kind of removal, it tends to counter my style of play. One thing I'll say on a personal level, regardless of, you know, judging the quality of this game, period, would be it's very much a mid-range sort of dream, because it is very much on the board play, and it's very much, you know, sort of my style of play works very well in this game, or it kind of suits it very well. Right, because it almost seems more like an aggro style game just with how fast paced everything is, but it certainly suits that more. It's not a control type of game, right? There aren't even that many high cost cards, period, and people may object to that a little bit, like, you know, people may object to that, but the reality is that or wait, it doesn't matter. Fuck. I'm actually gonna lose? I thought somehow that would let me kill it without dying and then finish them off. So, I mean, I got them pretty low still, but then I burnt out too quickly and they got a pretty fucking sick board here. Wait, my opponent conceded, but why? Why? I wasn't even gonna... What, are they a hacker or something and they feel bad about it? What the fuck is going on? Yeah, I'm literally win trading. So if I do one more, we're very close. I need 50 more gems, but then sometimes you can't just get that on a whim. So really, I lost that one, but I'll take it. What I'm confused about is, like, the timing of it. He was, you know, there are other points in the game where it seemed like he might have lost, but then, yeah, I'm actually happy with that hand. Even though I don't like the fact that I might skip turn 2. That's such a good early game hand because I can just live with it. You know, I'll have some good plays going forward. So even if turn 2, I just do a bonus attack with that. When a plant, so it doesn't say another plant, so it would apply to this as well. No, see, I love this sort of value stat. A 1 mana 2/2 is just good value, period. So I can't argue with that. Let's see if he tries to stop it. I wonder if there are decks for Captain Combustible that try to do other things. Like, it just seems like aggro is the only thing you're meant to do. And I will do it. I don't care. Again, because the one thing you're trying to do is never skip a turn. If you have something to play, just fucking play it. Because what are you waiting for? You know, you gotta just push the pace. It was kind of ballsy that he would even try to go face. I have no concern that I'm gonna die. Like, even that last game, you're never gonna get out aggroed and outpaced on the health value. He was beating me because he was beating me on the board, right? Like, my health value was still higher than his, and I would have won on a, you know, in terms of that base thing if he was trying to go face, but he just sort of overwhelmed me with the value on the board. That's okay. I mean, it's kind of a little slower type of play, though, still. Right, if he just can't deal with it, which at this early stage in the game, he very likely might not be able to deal with it. It can't be heard, but is that really worth it? So you can't leave these two around. They can be very annoying. That's one thing I don't like, though, how the team up gets absorbed fully by the same block meter. Right, it almost should be where they hit in separate. The first one will pop the block meter, and the second one will still get through, kind of. You can do that. No, I can't do it. There's a 4-5, it's a 2-3, and you have the ability to hit with this. Zombie can't be hurt. Okay. He's just doing that to stall out the game more so than actually, you know, it's not a very impressive. These are not very impressive minions that you're doing that for. But he has got some interesting buffs. So if they had strike through, though, I imagine it would still work, or I'm not sure how that interaction would work. So it's still not damaging that, but it should still do damage through to the face. You got the bullseye, and you got this +1/+1 when you play a trick. That's actually well, I'm pretty low. As much as I'm saying that, oh, you never lose the race. Right, like you never lose the damage race when it comes to the fucking thing. Just aggro versus aggro, and I was even saying how ballsy he is. That couldn't he have just done it there, and then I'd be guaranteed to die? Like that. Oh no, never mind. Probably playing with 2 or less. Okay, fine. Everything's still working out in my favor that I'm not dying, but so these last 2 games, basically, I have deserved to lose. It's only natural that I should. But I mean, yeah, if your opponent just literally disconnects or something, it still counts. So that's actually surprising that he out-aggroed me so easily. Too bad I can't emote in this game, though. It'd almost be pretty, you know, with the good sense of personality that it has. The production value is through the roof, aside from the fact that these fucking black bars and being on mobile all the time and being forced to it. Right, the biggest mistake that this game made, that I guarantee you if it had been on PC, it would have been far more popular, where is even still where a lot of people play it, like through emulation, but you shouldn't really have to do that. I don't know how the crossplay element works with that too. Like, you're obviously playing against people who are playing on phone, but I don't know to what extent that matters, because I don't know, like, you would think that would be how it works. Because like I was playing Clash Royale too, and it's like there is a Clash Royale that you can sort of play for PC, right? But I'd prefer to play the mobile one, basically emulating it, because then I get to play against people who are actually playing on phone, I assume, and either get to bully them because I'm using unfair advantage as far as the controls that are better than playing on a touchscreen or some shit, but also just it's more authentic to what it would actually be like in terms of how active it is or the kind of players you'd be going against. And I certainly would say I'm impressed too with the bots in this game, because if they are bots, I don't find them as boring or whatever as I normally would in other games. Like in Hearthstone, a lot of games do feel like that. Not only are they bots, but they're super boring to play against too. Let's go with the base played there. I don't really care about playing too aggressively here. This is more just like, you know, play sort of like the Smash or something more mid-range like Green Shadow, and then if you just get to turn 7, turn 8 with a decent board, then everything is okay. Yeah, I like how everything turns into a ranged unit in this game, because you get to, you know, if that was true, then zombies would be far more deadly, because the one advantage that the plants have is that they are long range, and that's the whole premise of the game, that you'll kill them with your stupid peas before they get to you. Pumpkin shell fusion. A plant plate on this gets +2/+4. Why do I feel like I've never seen that in the whole fucking history of the game? It's a very fitting time to play it, I guess, as we come upon September here. That almost seems like it should have been the event card, but it looks so weird too. Like, it's obviously the same sort of thing that you would put around your walnuts and stuff, or you could put around any plant to defend it in PvZ1, of course, but it looks kind of just out of proportion. I don't know, it makes me uncomfortable, actually. Okay, we go here. Bro is getting triggered by a pumpkin shell. So we have a good situation here. See, now if we just segue into a nice little Bad Moon Rising, then we'd be in very good shape. I really didn't want him to move there. It would have been a perfect trade because I'd still be alive. You know, you trade into a whole bunch of stuff and your stuff survives, and then you go ahead and do Bad Moon Rising. And the reason why that's good is because you get to move a zombie, does a bonus attack, would be very good. But now, even though I have like 3 Bad Moon Risings in here, or maybe I only have 2, then... Well, the problem is I can't summon anything because I want to do that bonus attack, so I'd be blocking the place I'd be going to. That's one of the cards I really wish I had, is the Gargantuar throwing Gargantuar, which is really insane. Right? Every time it takes damage, it summons another one. Not another one of itself, although I guess it could be, but that would be the infinite ultimate loop. Or great, now I can't even do it, but I can't do it without taking damage. So I hope I just top deck into Bad Moon Rising. I have 3 of them in my collection, obviously, but I might only have put 2 in here. Move a zombie, does a bonus attack. Move a zombie, gets +1. I mean, I guess between the 2 attacks it will kill it, but it's almost not even worth it. The armor mechanic is one of my favorite things, actually, in the whole game, but there aren't enough cards that have it, or I don't have enough cards that do, so I can't really make like a gimmick deck that builds around it too fully. Okay, now this is the whole thing. We've had to wait so long for Bad Moon Rising that now I'm probably going to lose because I just don't get a chance to play it. Right now my board's not going to be impressive enough, so I keep downplaying how, you know, oh, you don't have to build a deck for it, which you really don't, but I should move this one too, just to try to keep them alive and keep the Bad Moon Rising hopes alive. You get +1 and then you can do the bonus attack. So now I'm in full top deck mode, and so now you're going to be down to, assuming you don't have anything good there, you're going to be down to a measly 5 health. Or sorry, 4 health, basic math. But even if I got Bad Moon Rising there, I would have been happy with it. So I'm playing this one kind of aggro too. But isn't this bullshit? Like, you have one mechanic, one job that you're trying to go for, and you just can't do it. Okay, speaking of plant AoEs. What? And that even hits your face too, so you can't, it's a star fruit, and you've had your 5, but now he's gonna fucking do it again. Now I'll get Bad Moon Rising, hooray. I mean, I could still potentially win, but you can't do anything to that guy is the problem. Or like if you get lucky with the block meter not triggering, but I feel like... But no, the value of that can be insane because it's, you know, it's different than like... what is the example? Like Dark Matter Dragon Fruit hits 3 lanes, but it doesn't hit face, or does... I can't even remember now. Maybe it's been a while since I played it. There's another card like that that doesn't hit the lanes. Like splash damage doesn't hit the other lanes, but that one does. Like the 3-peaters hit 3 lanes, so it could hit your face, meaning. And then the other thing is that, so I'll be like 40 short. I might not actually get it today, which is surprising. No, obviously Green Shadow doesn't hit, or I mean Dark Matter Dragon Fruit doesn't hit face. And the reason why is because that would make it too overpowered. So it's like splash damage instead. Like the Gargoyle or something. As much as I burn out of cards sometimes, I'm not really a big fan of card draw in this game at all. Right? I rarely have it, or even like card generation. I was just making fun of that thing like that does the Gargantua stuff, that it would basically you know, you'll summon whatever, conjure an imp, this and Gargantua type of thing, but like I don't really give a shit because it's too slow of a card. The game will be over by then, and again, you might think I'm wrong for treating every game like that, and it certainly will be the case more as you get to higher ranks, but it might be annoying to do that, like where I keep rotating between them. You got to play the same one over and over, both to get into rhythm with it, but also to really take advantage of which your best decks are, but I'll still try to do that. I'm actually a little bit worried about it, and I'm sort of surprised that it is such a big deal, but let me try it. So now here, just, you know, putting the Permadeath clamp down, and then I might promptly do it again in Magic the Gathering. After that, after this expansion is over, I'll go back to playing as green and try to do it there. And then even if I fail, I can always play Magic online. That'll be a good finale for like 2 card games almost back to back. That we get to say, you know, we'll go back, we'll play green. And then if I can't get to rank 50 with green that month, or get to Mythic, obviously this game is rank 50, then I have to delete my collection, delete my account, which that might be very difficult, but there I can obviously craft and do whatever I want. Although I tend to not really want a meta deck or net deck. You can play all 3 of these if I want, which is actually fine with me. I guess. Like, I don't really know what that's doing for me, but I just like the aesthetic of this card, but it's not really, it's like a psychic Pokemon basically, but I rarely, if ever, have gotten to use the actual gravestone effect, because either you play it, you get it at the beginning of the game and you play it on turn 1, but then there are no gravestones that they're really going to have that early, or you play it later in the game but then it dies before you get a chance to use the effect, because it just dies so easily. So even though their hand is sort of drying out too, the reality is that I just want to try to survive long enough to get to play some of my ace cards, which, as much as I would like to play the thing, sometimes it's safer. Like, I should have put it there because you know it's guaranteed that you're gonna, if they had like extra brains left over, they can't summon something here to trade in because you already know what's gonna be there and there's nothing you can do about it. But that is pretty nasty actually. And I love this guy's aesthetic and everything, but I just get triggered by the fact that he should be usable by Wall Knight. But I guess somehow that really makes no sense at all. Oh, shit. I could try to dig for the fucking thing with the 3... Right, I could have tried to dig for cards and that might have helped, so it's always like a hindsight bias. If I lose, you say, oh, I should have just done that. Where I get to, even if it triggers the block meter, I don't care. And then it very easily could have and probably should have. But, you know, it's the case where... Alright, so we're short by 40, which shouldn't be a big deal to get at all. I'd like to get it today, but let's see if we get it in the amount of time here. We'll certainly get it for the end of season reward, so we're guaranteed to get the Yeti for what we have here coming up. So let's see how we do against the mighty rank 30. But again, we're not really getting the cards that we need to get for our late game plays. Like, we lasted for a while with Super Brains, but then we don't get Bad Moon Rising. So now I lasted a long time with maybe not a super long time, but you know, you're doing your part, that if you survive long enough to the middle game, you should be good. Moves to a random lane when a plant is played here. They're 2 mana, 3/1. So that's fine. We got a little ramp thing going, and I'm not even talking about the mana curve, the sun curve. No, there should always be modes in games like this, whether it be Magic or Hearthstone too, where you can first of all host your own criteria for a game. I've said that like a million times, but also there should be like it should be like a case where you have you can like combine every class together, so it doesn't matter about class color or anything like that. That actually worked out to my favor because obviously you have a better trade there. Yeah, let's get a Charlie D'Amello dancing to Captain Hook reference moment here. Like, this is the kind of shit that unfortunately gets views. Like, I do a title involving the hawk to a girl, even when I'm making fun of Fry 'em up for doing a thumbnail about that. But then I do one for Smite, and that one gets like 400 views, that video, just because of the title, not because of anything actually. In all lanes in your hand. You know, I'm actually fine with that because the hand is going to be pretty good going forward. It's just kind of maybe a little slow of a play. It's much better if you were to just play it on the field, but I guess I'm too lazy and I just kind of wanted to do it just because he looks cool and it's not a card that I actually have. We really have to hear this chicken sound the whole fucking game. So this is pretty strong. They're not really doing a whole lot. You keep buffing that guy and try to make him the final boss over here. So we want to do something where we don't actually have to trade. Or you know what we could do is we do it like this and do this one, which I don't fully understand why I would even want to do that, but like that seems kind of like a waste, but they are getting a little bit low. Probably the more logical play would have just been this plus that, but the trades and everything weren't the best. Or yeah, now I get to do this again. Well, it'll be a leafy evolution, which this isn't leafy. As much as I'm worried about like, oh, playing this in the perfect cute way, like, oh yeah, let's get this effect. I'm pretty low on health myself. Sometimes I lose track of that because I'm trying to play so aggressive myself. But you shouldn't really be playing even that aggressive with this deck because it's obviously more predicated around a card that seems like I don't even have anymore. The Dark Matter Dragon Fruit itself. I mean, that one you can't even do shit about. Like, what am I supposed to do? I'd have to summon something else. Right, that was like a mathematically impossible turn to deal with. That doesn't mean that you couldn't still win, but it's just... That's actually not even worth it at all. You could have... That's like a bot play. You could have done a bonus attack with that, then you know you're going to win anyway. I mean, I guess he does win anyway, so I'm losing and getting farmed by bots. But... Okay, so it seems pretty clear that we aren't going to get it today, which is actually fine with me, but... The next episode will either be the beginning of the next season, which I almost don't think it is, or it'll be the day that I get the Yeti, or I'll get both together. Like, you'll get it from the rewards from the season anyway, probably. Or even if I rank up, that always does it. I always forget about that. If you get to rank 10, which I'm apparently struggling to do here, if you get to rank 10, that's the longest queue time we've seen in a while. Just because these are all auto bot fucking matches, apparently. It's the fact that you're basically able to, you know, get to rank 10 or 15, so you get a little bonus gems for that. So we should 100% get it today. And so we'll just kind of look through. Maybe I won't even bother making the deck. We can save that excitement for next time, but we'll just be happy to see it. So this is plants played here. When they get played here, move. Okay. Get -1. Or does that even absorb it too? That's not what I wanted, though. Even though it'll be a good trade, I thought it would be... It's still fine. I thought it would be a case of what happens when an unstoppable force meets an immovable object. So we go here. Like, I thought that it wouldn't work to stuff like that, only if they play it out of their hand. Which there almost should be more effects like that. But yeah, the biggest thing I don't like about this game isn't even the auto battler element, which you would think in many ways I might not like, but it actually doesn't bother me that much somehow. It works pretty well because of the lane system and everything like that, and the other ways that the other parts of the game work. But I don't like the block meter at all, and people might question, well, you have to get the superpowers somehow, but it shouldn't make you invincible every time you get it. That's my objection to it. So it's not a question of, you know, or even like taking damage shouldn't reward you. You should get it for doing damage to them, or you should get it for some other... I mean, you could do that just for the fuck of it, but... You know, unfortunately, these type of cards always win me the game anyway. Like, the ones that I conjure would show you clearly my collection is lacking. Mondo, Bronto gets +1/+1, destroy all plants here. So I can't complain even about my collection. I've been very fortunate in this run too. I almost say that it's like some sort of good karmic justice that I sort of... Amphibious gets +1/+1 and destroy all plants here. Like, the game's giving me good karma by choosing to not only be a free-to-play player, but what the fuck? By not only choosing to be a free-to-play player, but also by choosing not to crap, then it gives me 2 dark matter dragon fruits and all this other crazy crap. So they're pretty fucking low, and now you get to try to deal with all the healing bullshit, infinite loop stuff, surely, that they're going to deal with. That thing is pretty annoying. You don't see that cornucopia thing too much, though. The one that's basically... That's not even a pun, though. It should be like kernel corn, like C-O-L-O-N-E-L, like Colonel fucking Mustang or some shit. You play a pad. Oh, I maybe should have done that. Yeah, I hear you like Yetis, and we're about to get one myself. And guess what's gonna happen? They're not gonna have the ability to actually use the Yeti as the Yeti. How about that? As fucking stupid as that would seem. That's almost as absurd as that mushroom not being playable as fucking... whatever. As a wall knight, obviously. So I'm not too happy with this situation because now they're going to win just on the raw power of their healing, right? I'm not going to be able to keep up with the value that they have here. The healing is so busted. What am I supposed to do about that? With 4 or less, and they hard commit to healing too. Like, the artichokes are no small commitment to have multiple of those. And of course, you get sort of the infinite loop with this. When a plant or your hero is healed, do that much damage to zombie hero. So you have no, I mean, you can obviously play all of them. I don't really get this fully, but I do like that Cosmic Yeti, because if you keep flipping it back to your hand every turn and it doesn't die, you have the ability to keep farming out those conjuration cards, which again end up often being better. But yeah, I like this guy's hard commitment to healing, though. It's one thing if I say, oh, I don't like healing, but at least he's doing it in a way that almost seems suboptimal, but it's like a gimmick theme thing that I would almost do myself. Bet you weren't expecting that, but I still don't get to actually do it in such a way that... That's one of my favorite attack animations in the game, is this thing. I forget even the name of it. Time for my flower hour of power, where the zombies cower before my power. Eminem's been real quiet since that dropped. Or what was my joke with that? Like, that the sunflower that sung "Zombies Ate My Lawn" has been real quiet since this dropped. That's more fitting. Or fuck, I should have played that on there. I'm not even paying attention. Right, so that's the right way to put it. That was one of my titles for PvZ hard mode. Like, I do have a lot of good titles actually over the time that I did that, because I did such a major, you know, so many parts to that series. It was basically time for my weekly flower hour of power, where the zombies cower before my power. And then I think is the little description for the video or something when I uploaded it. Maybe I did use it for this series too, on YouTube at least. I keep using the ones from the hard mode because I never uploaded those. I put, you know, the sunflower that sang "Zombies ate my lawn," or "There are zombies ate my lawn." The sunflower that said "There are zombies on my lawn," that sang "Zombies on my lawn," has been real quiet since it's dropped. Jesus, I can't even tell the joke properly. What you have now is the ability to realize that they burnt out of their hand despite the insane amount of healing that they have. And of course, even playing something there doesn't help me because I mistakenly thought that said plant every time at the beginning of the playthrough, like, oh, you heal 1 for every plant, so that's pretty good. But no, only each flower specifically, which is very archetypal and very limited. But you would almost win here, but let's see what they have. And they don't even have the block meter anymore. And I obviously only have 1 HP, so what could I possibly do? Again, it's less about the mana at this point, and I find it amusing. It's more about the, you know, the lethal prospect that they're posing. You're really gonna be 1 HP short? Are you fucking, or 2 HP? That is so fucking stupid, bro. That was at least an intense, adequately interesting game. I'd like to get to rank 10 just so I can buy the fucking Yeti, so my title here would even be sort of accurate. Like, I just have to win 1 or 2 more, but I'm just not able to. Which sets sort of a bad precedent going forward, because it's supposed to be, you know, oh, we're gonna get to rank 50. I can't even get to fucking rank 10 all of a sudden. Astrocado is good, but see, some of these cards are deceptive because it's like, oh, that's so good, and it is decent, but it's not as good as maybe, well, you know, this guy does synergize with it pretty well. With, you know, the whole protecting it with team-ups and stuff like that. The pit that you get back from it, you put a walnut in front of it, and then it's much harder to kill, etc. But what you have is, you know, again, some of the cards are like, oh, that's a good card, but you're assuming the ideal condition for it. It's like the knight in chess. Oh, it's good in close positions. Oh, it's good as an octopus knight. It's like, oh, this card is good if you support it properly, but what if you don't? If you don't, then you're giving it sort of undue credit and assuming too much, where, you know, there's like the raw inherent value of a card, and then there's like the extrapolated ideal optimal meta circumstance condition for it, right? So that's not to the credit of the card itself. Sometimes it could even be a bad card. Like, why would you even do that? Only a bot would make that fucking play. What the fuck was the reason for that? When hurt, we'll go ahead and put it in there. I do kind of like this. I got this like very recently from a pack. There's certain things I like about the Guardian class, but I would never want it to be actually... I would never want it to be... you know, the true iteration of it, where it's gonna be like a fucking... It's gonna be very control and sort of late game intensive, which I haven't seen that with Wall Knight too much, but that's obviously the ultimate intention behind it. But that doesn't trigger the effect though, actually. But you keep... This guy couldn't even be a bot. Like, he must be a player who's deliberately self-trolling. Why the fuck would you keep putting stuff in there in the one lane that's gonna die? It's gonna die when they all have 2 HP or less. Yeah, then you'll start losing stars too as you lose games. It's one thing if I think that I can brute force it. It's gonna be just so, you know, like, it'll be out of my control because there's nothing I can do. Right? It's like, my collection is my collection, no matter how well I play with it. you know, you'd have to try with the exact same criteria to measure it, but I'm already sort of having a negative attitude. I should be able to do it, but you see how hard this is. Even if I play for longer sessions and more often, I'm struggling to actually get to rank 10. Like, why the fuck should that be happening? Part of it that's fair is like, oh, I'm playing like rank 30s and stuff along the way, so it's not entirely an accurate measure, but still. Really, this guy's always ranked 9, but I don't know how much to judge that either, because it's like, well, I don't know what that really means at times. Like, you know, sometimes they could be a really good player who just hasn't gotten to a higher rank that they're inevitably going to do. So the problem that I have with this deck is, even though it is decent at times, I went on a pretty good win streak either last time or the time before, I think, with it. You have a problem that you're not able to do it along the lines of what do you call it? There is no end game. Like, it's kind of ironic. You can guarantee that you're going to last till the end game because it's so defensive, right? So I'm going to get to turn 8, turn 10, but then I don't have like an end game epic play to do that's actually going to win me the game. Like, I should actually see, like, what is Wall Knight's end game play? You would need like a... You would need like an actual... I mean, the strike through alone is pretty much going to kill you. You would need like some sort of dark matter dragon fruit equivalent here to sort of push the advantage, because like I've gotten there comfortably and my board is pretty good, and my... Even the cornucopia thing or something would be good if you can use it here. Let me look at the high cost cards that could be actually good for this. You could win if you don't, well, you're still gonna get saved by the stupid ass block meter. This is sort of too punishing though, with destroying your own stuff. It could almost be justifiable. Just destroy their stuff on the ground and that would be good enough. Because like you'd say, oh, that's too good, but for only 3 costs more for a zombie, you get to fucking destroy everything everywhere and get a 9/9 for it too. Like, what the fuck? I'm fine with that, so now all you have to do is try to figure a way to finish him off, which should be pretty easy to do. The strike through alone after you tank the block meter should be good, unless you do something here. Or they are sort of stalling it out, but I don't feel under any pressure at all, actually. I'm pretty happy with this position, and that berry thing has survived for a long time. Bro is literally me when I'm streaming, because I'm always fucking half asleep, because I either do it right when I wake up, meaning I'm still half asleep, or I do it right when I'm about to go to bed, like right now. You would think you should be dead here. The fact that we're actually getting through people's block meters is itself kind of disturbing, because that just means the games are going on way too fucking long. In before Zombot 1000 that I keep calling Zombot 9000, which I don't even know if this guy can use it. I never really remember the types or the whatever. Like, it's not really relevant unless you can... I mean, you should kind of know what your opponents are playing, but I would know based on more of the ones that I have. I'm not going to know the ones that they happen to deal with, because... Okay, so you have to win one more. We get the 750 gems. We get the Yeti zombie, and then we're ready to go next time for the rank up thing. But I might not be able to do it because it won't be the next season yet, so we'll just kind of relax and whatever, just play for the fuck of it. This was not the greatest opening hand. Yeah, then it gets actually serious. I might have to play like pretty much every day or like very long sessions. I don't know how to do it when I have to fit it in with the rest of my schedule, which is actually pretty demanding, because every day, even if my streams are short, every day I have to what do you call it? I have to do a different category. So I'd have to fit this in. It's not like the old days where I didn't have like a fixed schedule. I kind of like it in a way, but it's also a little bit hard at times. you have a fixed schedule where you're basically able to say, you know, Monday I play Magic, and Sunday I play Hearthstone, and Tuesday I play Chess, and Wednesday I play Smite, and Thursday I play a throwback game, which is not going to be, you know, something like this. And Friday is going to be obviously this, and Saturday is going to be some other. I mean, Friday will still be this, of course, but until it's over. But then I have some other. I'll have to fit it in. So like how I play chess on other days, I'll have to take a break from playing chess, and I'll say, you know, I'll do this in those extra sessions when I can, and then I can also do Magic in those sessions too, like how I am going to do that challenge later on. And then I could do the same thing again in Hearthstone too, which I did pretty remarkably well in that because it was on such a whim. +2/+2 with the plan with team up. Why don't we just save the mine then? Because it's a weird way to do it, and I guess I've never played it like that. I typically play it behind to always protect it, but I almost had it in my head that you almost had to play it that way. You don't have to play it as the team up thing, right? You can just play it with anything, you know. You just have to play it in the same lane. It doesn't mean you have to actually hide behind it like a clown to get the effect. That's just my natural tendency. In a way, it seems pointless. Like, why even do that? But it just means, like, that's my last line of defense then. You should maybe play more defensively than what I'm doing, but I don't really know. Deal 2 damage to the plant hero. That's actually not too bad of a trade, though. This obviously synergizes very well because you're going to have so many things out there between the team up. Yeah, I don't care too much about that, but I don't like this whole board position, honestly. Okay, we should just do this here, and it'll be hard for him to deal with it. +1 for each other plant and zombie. Maybe I'm trying to go face too much and ignoring what they're doing on the board, which could be a major mistake, but the reality is that I feel pretty comfortable with it. I mean, that's pretty great value. I mean, the fact that he gives it for their stuff too is very hard to deal with. Yeah, like play around its effect by just don't summon anything, right? Like, I love that. Just don't summon zombies on your side of the field and just sit there and do nothing, and then you'll cuck my ability to benefit from that effect. Yeah, I won't even make a deck for it or anything. I'll literally just get it, and then we're ready to go. See, these plays are so easy because they're just on curve, and whether it works or not, like, there's nothing better you can really do. You don't have to do anything too elaborate here. I guess the only thing you'd really want for the Spine Apple is for it to have team up too, which you maybe think is, oh, that's too powerful, but okay, we'll wait, and then we'll do it next turn, or I'm gonna have to do it next turn. Can't be hurt this turn, and then all you have to do is figure a way to oh, this could be really good. I maybe shouldn't have even bothered with the heal, but I'm trying to be like extra careful here. So they are pretty low, and they're going to take potentially 5 from that, but they're not because of the stupid ass block meter. So even if you hit the water chestnut, or even if you hit something else, you are going to definitely get punished for it. Yeah, go try to attack into this first, and then you lose your block meter, and then I'll hit you with the strike through, assuming it works exactly like that. Oh, it didn't actually happen, though. So we got the mine, we got this, nut. When your nuts get hurt. So this isn't even considered a nut, though? How could it not be? It's like a fruit nut. All mixed in one. Okay, we'll put this thing down, too. So now we're in a position where even if you hit this, it's still going to be bad. Right, because you're obviously going to benefit from the effect no matter what you're hitting. But no, I was sure this would be considered like a fruit and a nut in one. 'Cause that's literally what it is still. It's like a walnut. They misspelled it. It should be WALNUT with no space. Ha ha ha. Just like the pool shark thing. Why isn't the pool shark amphibious? And people answer it literally to show you that, with all due respect, they're like, you know, they don't, I don't know. It's just like they're too, they either think I'm too stupid or they're kind of looking at it too literally or simplistically. And just trying to be matter-of-fact know-it-alls, which is fine with me even still, but... 1-1 backup dancers. Are you really going to drag this shit out? Well, I guess you very strategically got the wrong ones there. Now, I will get to rank 10. I should get the 50 gems. And so I'll do it as a placeholder here. Oh, is it not going to be enough? Or it will be? Oh, it's... Oh, shit. Wait. Okay, that gave me way more than I thought. Yeah, we're going to get our first and only zombie hero ever in the history of the game. And I won't even really worry about reading into it too much here. Brain freeze. Obviously, you have stealthy and sneaky, or I mean, sneaky and beastly. Balance a random plant. Dolphinado. Pet superpower trick. Balance a random plant, which is similar to a lot of the other ones that we've seen. All plants on the ground get -1, -1. Oh, that sound is kind of cool. What is that? What the fuck is that voice? Galvanize, obviously we have on other ones. Frozen tundra. Freeze all plants on the ground, which that's interesting. He may be cold of heart, but he loves his pets. 3 times uncommons +1. Zombie chicken. Cat lady. Zombie hero brain freeze. Unlike brain freeze, the hero quest, which I don't really do those anyway. Loves ice cream, snowstorms, and brains. Not necessarily in that order. Yeah, this is a big moment. The first and only zombie hero that we're probably going to get. And we've never gotten one from a random pack either way. Even Captain Combustible I got myself. Right, with respect to... You know, just buying it with gems the same way. Yeah, I still don't have a single strategy deck completed in my whole collection too, which shows you right there the fucking quality of my collection. Cat lady, this gets +3 when you turn a pet. This turn when you play a pet. Only this turn though. Like, why should you have to do that? JD Vance is #1 target, right? The crazy cat ladies who don't want to have kids or something. However he said it was sort of, you know, introducing brain freeze. This Yeti isn't having a nice day, but it's cool. Brain freeze knows how to beat the heat. Touch anywhere to continue. Wait, what? He's at an ice cream truck. You see Grass Knuckles and Walnut in the background, kind of pissed off. He's not having an ice day because obviously that shit falls down. But it's cool. Brain freeze knows how to beat the heat. So he freezes everything around him too, like the fucking whole neighborhood. And he freezes the 2 plants in the background too. He puts a brain on the thing instead of the ice cream itself. I don't know, it just looks kind of random. I don't know what that has to do with anything. I know how to beat the heat by putting a brain on a cone and just eating that instead because I'm a zombie and zombies like to eat brains, but... Or like it's to imply that he's just freezing what they gave him. Oh, maybe it's not really ice cream and it just looks like that. Like, oh, it looks like pink ice cream. But really it was a brain and the brain just melted. And then he manually froze everything around him, including the brain juice that it melted into. I'm overanalyzing this. And so by freezing the brain juice, it makes it solid again. So now it becomes a brain. So it was a brain all along. But it makes it look like, oh, it's just ice cream that's melted. Right, that just looks pink or whatever. But it actually is meant to be a brain. Okay. See you tomorrow.